A court in Delhi today attacked the CBI for fabricating a case against former telecom secretary Shyamal Ghosh in a 2G case, leading to an all-out political war between the NDA and the UPA. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has accused Kapil Sibal of filing the false charge sheet, while Mr. Sibal says that this is a figment of Mr. Jaitley's imagination.
Minister versus ex-minister, NDA versus UPA over the 2G spectrum's case, where the court today hauled up the CBI for fabricating a case against former telecom secretary Shyamal Ghosh for political vendetta. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said, "I had consistently maintained that this charge sheet was full of fabricated facts. There is no doubt that the charge sheet was filed at the behest of Kapil Sibal. Kapil Sibal selected a retired judge of his choice and asked him to unearth an NDA scam." Reacting to this, former telecom minister Kapil Sibal told NDTV this is a figment of Jaitley's imagination and that ministers do not file charge sheets.
पहले थी थूको और भागो, spit and run. Now they have adopted yet another angle to it. Spit, run and hide. यानी जब घोटाले को नकार नहीं सके तो उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं ये तो इंडिया में होता ही था, लेकिन इंडिया के काल में घोटाला नहीं हुआ, ये भी कोर्ट ने आज कह दिया.
So Mr. Javadekar says that this case against you is something was just you were used as a puppet, that basically it was just to show that there was corruption during NDA time as well. Do you believe in what he said, sir? Do you agree with that?
I was never a puppet and I will never be puppet for anything. Followed the policy of the new telecom policy of 1999. I had implemented in spirit and word, and the results of that implementation is now seen.
The court has used strong words against the CBI. The judge said CBI had distorted and fabricated facts deliberately in the case. Hinting that there may have been a political conspiracy, the judge said the charge sheet was filed for extraneous reasons and ordered the CBI to take action against the officers behind this case. The judge also asked the CBI to drop the case against Ghosh, Bharti, Hutchison Max and Sterling Cellular. Two CBI cases united by the allegation that they were cases of political vendetta. In Chief Minister Veerbhadra Singh's case, the CBI has appealed to the Supreme Court to allow them to interrogate the Congress Chief Minister, something that the Congress says is motivated. The CBI has refused to respond, but can they avoid acting against their own officers who probed the 2G case? With Kate Kiangre, Sunitra Chaudhary for NDTV.
Well, joining us on the program tonight is Sudhanshu Mittal, spokesperson of the BJP, Jaiveer Shergill, spokesperson of the Congress party in this face-off. Jaiveer Shergill, this is a pretty big indictment of the way the CBI functioned under the UPA government. The court has had some very stinging words saying that the CBI distorted and fabricated facts deliberately in the case. How does the Congress react to that, firstly?
Absolutely not, Nidhi. There is no indictment of the Congress party. Rather, Mr. Arun Jaitley should make responsible statements and not indulge in rumor mongering. Mr. Jaitley should provide evidence linking Mr. Sibal with CBI filing charge sheet. Otherwise, apologize to Mr. Kapil Sibal. Let's put the facts out. The fact is, CBI registered a charge sheet on the basis of a report of a retired Supreme Court Judge, Shri Shivraj, in which Mr. Kapil Sibal had no involvement whatsoever regarding the content of the report. Now, Mr. Jaitley is very eagerly questioning Congress party. Did he question when the CBI did not file an appeal against Mr. Amit Shah's discharge, when they did not appoint a public prosecutor in Sohrabuddin case, argued only for 15 minutes. Look at the overzealousness. CBI's overzealousness against Mr. Veerbhadra Singh shows that there raises question on their autonomy.
No,
now you don't file a case against
How is this not an
Mr.
indictment
Amit
of the
Shah
UPA?
Or Mr. Vandara.
The CBI was working under you. The CBI was working under you.
How?
The CBI was under the UPA government. The same CBI was called a caged parrot by the Supreme Court. So how can you say that this is not an indictment of the way the UPA functioned? Because what does the court say, that the CBI distorted and fabricated facts deliberately, hinting that there may be a political conspiracy, that the charge sheet was filed for extraneous reasons? What do you think the court is talking about?
Two answers to your questions. Firstly, I don't know about cage parrot, but definitely CBI has become a robotic hawk in the hands of the BJP being used to hunt their political opponents. Secondly, where does the court say that those extraneous reasons are linked to the Congress party? Mr. Jaitley is well in control of CBI. He should bring out the evidence linking Mr. Sibal with this allegation, otherwise apologize. We are throwing open an open challenge. Please put evidence on record, whether it's on the report of a retired Supreme Court judge or at the behest of Mr. Sibal, and let the truth come out rather than indulging in this rumor.
Okay, so then let me ask Sudhanshu Mittal
all we are demanding
question.
Is evidence.
What is the evidence about Kapil Sibal's involvement, Mr. Mittal? And I'm sure Mr. Jaitley wouldn't put this out lightly. But where's the proof?
Nidhi, I am quite familiar with the case. So let me just bring out 3 points. To understand this, why CBI fabricated this, you have to look at what was happening. 2G charge sheet was already filed. Raja was in jail already. The entire environment was pointing about corruption at all things. See, Commonwealth Games had already taken place. The entire corruption saga of that case was well known to everybody. Coal scam, that was an era where there were continuous scams which were discovered every second day. In that context, this was the ingenuity of Mr. Sibal to figure out as to how to divert the attention by blaming NDA. If anybody is familiar with bureaucracy, they will say Shyamal Ghosh stands out as the shining example of what a bureaucrat must be. A man dynamic and with utmost integrity, upright, in terms of being upright. He is known across the board as the most upright officer. How criminal was this? That for your own narrow political purpose, you frame fabricated charges against this kind of a man? The idea was that late Pramod Mahajan cannot defend himself. So let's get him involved and say there was corruption during NDA time. There is corruption here. Let the courts decide. So no big deal. You will remember the zero loss theory which was propounded by Mr. Sibal. What was the entire endeavor? The entire endeavor was how to deflect. And this criminality was an outcome of this entire endeavor.
The question is, what is the proof?
Can you imagine?
What is the proof that this was done at Kapil Sibal's behest? Because you're naming him.
First, Mr. O.P. Seni, the learned judge, has said, this is a fabricated charge sheet. A. Second, what does he say? It has been done at the behest of vested interests. Third, he says this investigating officers should be punished for that. Now tell me something. Nidhi, let's use common sense. The investigating officer, what vested interest has he except to serve his political master, who at that time was Mr. Kapil Sibal, managing the entire affair? If you remember, what happened at the Ramlila ground when there was this lathi charge to prevent the demonstration there for corruption against India against corruption. So, Kapil Sibal ji was running the show, and he thought it was his sacred
it is an
duty
assumption
to deflect.
So
no,
it is
not an assumption.
It's a common sense assumption, as you put it.
See, what I'm saying is it is common sense, and when the inquiry will be held, now the CBI is ordered, the court is ordered that the CBI has to inquire. Once the inquiry will take place, you will find the involvement of Mr. Kapil Sibal.
Jaiveer, you want to respond to that? It's a common sense link. Sudhanshu Mittal says it's a common sense link that is being made to Kapil Sibal.
Nidhi, fortunately for all of us, the law of this country does not give verdicts on common sense, but on facts and evidence. The BJP is trying to misinterpret and misread a court order to raise baseless allegations against the Congress. Now, Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal is a senior leader. He should be aware, if being a minister equates controlling or getting charge sheet filed, what happened? Why did the CBI, who twice said Mr. Amit Shah is the linchpin, started the inquiry and ended the inquiry with suddenly had a change of heart? Will he throw some light on that? You do not file a appeal against his discharge, but raid a leader on his daughter's wedding day. In the first time in the history of independent India, a CM has been humiliated out of political vendetta on the wedding day of his daughter.
Sudhanshu Mittal?
Nidhi, I thought we were discussing the indictment of the CBI in the context of the UPA government and the fabricated charge sheet in order to defend the NDA. Instead of addressing ourselves to that, Mr. Shergill wants to deflect to Amit Shah and his Veerbhadra Singh. against whom the inquiry was initiated, not during our time, sir, during your time itself. And these are all inquiries which have been ordered by the High Court. So please do not attribute motives as far as we are concerned. That's not the culture we have been followed. You have been following because you had things to hide. Because there was a series of allegations of corruption against your government. In order to deflect, the best thing you thought was fabricate and manufacture a crime which never took place. Fortunately, as they always say, truth shall prevail. Justice shall be done. In this case, though it's been a bit late, but yet justice has been done. The truth is out in the open for everybody to see.
Let me ask Jaiveer.
You stand indicted.
Jaiveer, the question then is, Kapil Sibal says this is a figment of Mr. Jaitley's imagination. If that is the case, then is the Congress party willing to sue for defamation? Is this a defamatory comment? If you're so sure that the Kapil Sibal is not involved and that this entire allegation is baseless and false, are you going to sue?
Nidhi, I cannot comment on that legal move that at best Mr. Kapil Sibal will answer, and of course at the time when I'm privy to such information, I will share the details with you.
But you can't escape the fact that when the court indicts the CBI for fabricating the case, it is an indictment of the UPA. How can you absolve the UPA of that? I mean, you had a minister who had to resign from the law ministry because of influence that he was seen to be peddling over the CBI, which is when the court made the comment about the caged parrot. Just as you point fingers at the BJP for allegedly misusing the CBI, they can turn around and do the same thing. Because the CBI has been a political football between governments for years, Jaiveer.
Nidhi, I'm glad you brought out that question. If you put the two situations in a comparative table, absolutely you've hit the nail on its head. On one side is CBI investigating UPA ministers, not forcefully giving them a clean chit. Mr. Pawan Bansal, the nephew's house was raided. He was indicted. Mr. Ashwini Kumar had done the right. On the other end of the spectrum, you have the likes of Amit Shah or even CBI's hesitation to start inquiry into Vyapam scam. They have ministers who are alleged of rape roaming around freely. So whether CBI's are caged parrot or their robotic hawk, the facts are in front. Now the court order of indicting CBI can never be expanded to read into UPA's link. It is between the accused and the court. If the government has some special information, they can move an application to the court that investigate UPA links with the CBI. Will they do that? Rather than speaking on news channels, will the government of the day move that such application? No. CBI should be open to investigation. What led to distortion?
I am so happy Mr. Shergill has brought up the tutored Vyapam. Mr. Shergill, for your information, Vyapam was monitored by the High Court and no other agency could do anything till such time the High Court did not agree to it. CBI only entered when the Supreme Court ordered. So please, I mean, let's have your facts clear. Now, second thing, Mr. Pawan, Bansal's raid was an outcome of his nephew getting caught red-handed. He was taking bribe and he was caught red-handed. So he was arrested for that, which probably you do not know. Third fact is Mr. Pawan Bansal was shielded because you all indulged in all the pressure tactics to ensure that he is given a clean sheet. But I'm not getting into this. An NDA case which had nothing but that it was not even on the horizon of the entire telecom scenario suddenly props up because of the allegations which the UPA was suffering at that point of time. You had Pawan Bansal, you had coal scam, you have Commonwealth Games scandals, you have 2G Raja scandal, whole lot. I have even lost count of the scandals you were facing. So in order to deflect, the ingenuity of Mr. Kapil Sibal has never been doubted. We all know that. He is brilliant, I acknowledge. So the ingenuity was first the zero loss theory which could not sell. So once the theory could not sell, what should we do? He said, you are equal, I am equal.
Yeah. Look, the one thing that comes out clearly from story to story is that the CBI at the end of the day does face an existential crisis in terms of how it continues, and it always has been a sort of a political football, as I said earlier. But at the end of the day, Jaiveer, I say this again, this has certainly been a bad day for the Congress in court, the way that the court has indicted the CBI in this particular case, and I think that the UPA can't escape responsibility from that. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us on the program tonight.